Alright guys, what's going on? Blitz here with the Survival Outpost. This video is all about 5 potential additions to my bug out bag that I need your help vetting, figuring out what works and what doesn't. And I've been out on multiple training exercises with this gear, doing an overnighter right now with one of my friends. We're set up here on the bluff. We have a beautiful position right next to this meandering stream that just kind of cuts through here with almost like a completely clear underground spring, for lack of a better term. It's just an excellent location. It's gonna be a beautiful night, set up here underneath the stars. We're about to cook some food. So hit me up in those comments and let me know what piece of the gear work, what I should leave, and what maybe you just absolutely hate. There's some items that I'm definitely gonna keep and some items that I'm definitely going to leave at the house. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into the content and get a look at the first potential addition to the 72-hour gear. So we get started with the world's most tactical shovel, and to be honest with you guys, 100% when I got this, I definitely had my doubts. But the shovel has performed so well, it's completely erased any doubts or hesitations I had about the quality or the design of this shovel. I have used this for everything I could possibly think of, from digging a fire pit and slicing through massive roots, cooking up a quick breakfast over the fire, clearing a campsite, chopping wood, and then even using the ferro rod that's built into one of the handles in combination with the shovel head to actually get a spark and get my fire starting. So overall, super impressed with the quality and construction and design of this tool, and to be honest, it cost $219. So I better be damn impressed, and it better do everything it says it does a billion times over. And it pretty much does that very well, and I've been very impressed with it, but I literally have no space for it in my 72-hour kit, which was kind of disappointing, even when I broke it down to the smallest configuration. So I had to leave it out. But I still needed some sort of digging implement, some sort of digging tool. So I found this spade. It's basically kind of like a spade on steroids, for lack of a better term, floating around on Amazon. Picked it up, and it's a perfect fit in my bag. It does exactly what I needed to do, which is basically some minor digging. And it actually chops pretty decently with this with the sharp edges that it has here. And it's advertised you could kind of use this as a spear point. Never tried that out, but that does look interesting. Overall, the spade is really all I need. So here we have what I consider to be the perfect shelter. This is it, boys and girls, the DD Frontline Hammock. And honestly, it's been a long road to get to this point, and I wish maybe looking back I could have shortcut to here, but then I wouldn't have got all the learning and experience that I gained along the way. So how did it all begin? Well, it started out with your average tent, which is fine, but as we all know, it has its downsides. Usually there's lots of pieces and parts. You absolutely do need a flat, cleared out surface with no roots or anything like that at all, which can tear up the bottom of the tent. And then the setup time is not exactly fast. So I quickly evolved out of that into the tarp, which is so easy, a caveman can set it up, right? But the problem is, you're still on the ground, which means you still have to clear out that space. You still have to make sure there's nothing on the ground that's going to get in your way and poke you, and drive you insane throughout the night. You don't want to get eaten by bugs, so you still have a lot of the same issues you had with the tent in place. And then even during the spring and summer months, when you don't really need a sleeping pad or anything like that, you still got to have that just to get off the ground and be somewhat comfortable. On the other hand, the hammock has none of those issues. For spring and summer here in the South, there's no need for a sleeping pad, no underquilt. I just roll with a light blanket, and that's it. So aside from the lightweight stats and the setup, it is a hammock. It's maximum comfort. I climb in, I strip down to my skivvies and zip up. I got the mosquito net in place. I'm sleeping like a baby. Last time I was out, I went to bed at 10 o'clock at night, or 10:30, whatever, and I slept so hard that I did not wake up until 5 a.m. I was basically in a coma. So point is, it was almost too comfortable. There probably a black bear probably could have walked into our campsite, rolled me up like a frickin' taco, and he started eating me before I had a clue what was going on, because I was so damn comfortable. I was literally in a damn coma. But hey, I've just never slept so good. So that's nice. And then real quick, let's have a look at the hammock up close. First of all, that multicam pattern, you will probably, if you're familiar with multicam, you'll recognize that this is a darker take on multicam and a little splotch here. This is how DD Hammock does multicam, and honestly, it's way better than the traditional multicam, which is way too light for the area that I'm typically in. So I was happy to get that, and because a lot of time tarps don't even come in any sort of camo pattern. So that was a win, the multicam. And then looking at here, there's an option to slide in a sleeping pad or under quilt when it does get colder, which it does. And then inside the hammock, there's a total of 4 pockets, 2 at each end. And I've used these for storing my headlamp, phone, gloves, beef jerky, whatever. But it enables you to keep things nicely organized inside your hammock as well. So that's a nice touch. And then check this out: if you don't want to use the mosquito net, let's say you're just out for the day, you need somewhere to lounge or sit, you flip the hammock over, and that's it. You're done. So honestly, what's not to love about the hammock? Try to change my mind in the comments. Maybe suggest a better hammock or something like that. But right now, this thing is an absolute perfect fit in my bag, and it meets all the requirements I need for a shelter. So for me, it's a 100% win. Once again, guys, just like with the shelter, there had to be evolution in order to get better. And here's a news flash: if your gear's collecting dust, you're never going to get better. I look around at the world, it's June 2020, the first part of this year has been a complete and total shit show. There has been more crazy stuff happen this year than the entire time I've been woke and paying attention to the world around me. So if you weren't motivated to get on a train before, damn it, you better be motivated now. You better be motivated to get your gear squared away, to get your firearms training on point, to get your home preps on point, to get your evac plan squared away, and to be prepared for what is a very constantly dynamic and dangerous environment that we live in. There could be a protest and major riots 200 miles away from you. The next day you wake up and then they're in your city burning it down, okay? Or there's a massive pandemic that's sweeping the country. Or maybe the election of Donald Trump, which people are going to go absolutely batshit insane over. So I look around the world and I can't see any reason why people are not out with their gear, training, and getting better. So all that being said, back to the topic, what the hell were we talking about? Years ago, when I got back into the survivalist lifestyle, I found a need for binoculars. I found that I was using them all the time. And the pair that I had was fine, but they were just too bulky. They took up too much space in my pack, and they just didn't have enough magnification. So I swapped them out for a monocular by Barsky, which was better, but too small with a limited field of view, and it was very difficult to maintain a clear picture to keep it stabilized while I was looking downrange. So I had to kind of go back to the drawing board and see really, really, truly what was out there and what I needed. And I ended up purchasing the Vortex Solo RT. With this scope, I get a ranging reticle, I get 8x magnification, a 36mm objective. They're shockproof, waterproof, fogproof, and also very important, they're very comfortable to hold and to stabilize with that flared eye cup, so you can get a very clear picture of the target. And that's kind of important because, yeah, if you can't see what you're looking at, kind of pointless. So I've had people ask me why I carry binos or monoculars, and that's a legitimate question because they do take up space and weight. The reason why is I use them all the damn time. There's been 2 instances where I've left them at home in the past 10 years, and I've needed them within like a very short period of time of getting out in the field. I use them for everything, from checking out boats on the river, observing landmarks for a distance when I'm doing land nav, looking for roving security patrols at the bunker complex I kind of might hang out in from time to time, urban recon from rooftops, and the list just goes on and on. I just use these all the time, and that's why I had to upgrade them, and that's why they are a critical and very important component to my 72-hour kit. And then the star of the show, guys, it is the Direct Action Dragon Egg. I've had my eye on this pack for a long time, and I finally pulled the trigger for this pack to serve as my summer 72-hour kit, go bag, bug out bag, whatever. And I chose it, even though it's a 2-day pack. I chose it for my 72-hour bag because I figured it would be a challenge to make it work, and it would force me to slim down and eliminate any sort of unnecessary gear. So let's go ahead and have a quick look at the bag, and I'll probably do a dedicated video on this pack in the future, but for now, we're just going to hit the high points. So let's go ahead and get started. The Dragon Egg weighs in at 3.5 pounds, which I believe is about 1,600 grams, and it has a capacity of 25 liters. It is constructed from, as you might have guessed, Cordura 500D fabric, which is water-resistant coated, and the camo pattern here is the beautiful and sexy Pincock Green Zone, which I think Direct Action, well, they're a Polish-based company, I believe, and I believe they're the only company, at least that I've seen out there, offering the Pincock Green Zone pattern, which is just incredible. This pattern is NIR treated, which means it helps to reduce detection by night vision, and the same is true if you were to choose the cryptic or multicam patterns that Direct Action offers. Looking here on the front and the sides, there's laser cut MOLLE webbing everywhere. So if I choose to attach a pouch or pouches, I can do that. I've tried that out, and to be honest with you guys, unless it's a very slim, low profile pouch, I just don't like pouches on my bags. They get caught on vegetation and roots and stuff, and I just like a slick surface, basically. So I have an option if I want to use it, whatever. So obviously here, let's see that the pack is hydro compatible. I literally will not buy a bag if it's not hydro compatible. It has a very thick, heavily padded back panel and straps. Awesome design, super comfortable, and when you put this on, you put the straps on and you put the sternum strap across, the pack just kind of bends and flexes around the shape of your back, which makes for a very comfortable carry even when you have it fully packed out like I do here. On the back, this section zips down for whatever might be a good fit. You know, if you were in an urban environment, maybe you throw a laptop in here. For me, this is more dedicated towards the wilderness environment, so I throw some tools in here. And then on the side here, you see expandable pockets, one on each side with a zipper, which I thought was a nice little design. And then compression straps all around, 2 on each side, 2 on the bottom. That's another big requirement, guys, when it comes to bags, is that they have to be hydro compatible, they have to have compression straps. And then let's look at the zippers real quick. For a $160 bag, you expect the zippers to be top quality, and they are absolutely top quality. And those are kind of 3 factors: the zippers, the compression straps, and the hydro compatibility are big selling points for me. Then there's also this paracord grab handle, which I think this is the only company that does that. And that's comfortable, easy to grab, and obviously paracord if you need it in a pinch. And then on the inside of the bag, it's basically split into 2 main compartments. There's this compartment up front, which has the organizational panel, some zippered pockets, and some other open pockets there. And probably my only complaint with this is the org panel is kind of limited in what you can put in. Like, you can only put pins in there. I'd like to have some inserts that are a little bit larger, maybe to accommodate a larger pin or a flashlight or maybe a multi-tool, but you know, whatever. That's honestly a minor complaint. And then there's the big compartment, the main compartment, which is basically a zippered pocket on the inside, big open pocket for the hydro bladder, plus a hanger for your hydro bladder, and then all the rest of the open space. And here, you know, I stuff my hammock down there on the bottom, and then I stuff everything in there on top of it, and somehow magically I've managed to make it all fit. And now there's this evolution once again of my water purification system. You know, I've tried everything you can possibly think of on planet Earth, and thanks to me choosing a 2-day bag for my 3-day gear, I was forced to really think strategically about my water purification needs. And I ended up choosing the CNOC bladder. You guys may have seen these before. I believe Survival Theory or another channel had commented and said, check out the CNOC. I did, and it's awesome, right? Because it has this big wide open mouth. I can scoop up water all day long from even the most shallowest water sources. I attach my Sawyer Mini, and I have 100,000 gallons filter capacity right there. So I can get a drink right there on the spot. I can set this up as a gravity-fed system at my campsite, or I can use it to refill my hydration bladder that's inside the pack. And yes, I did consider putting a filter in line with my hose, but then I was like, man, I don't want to have 2 dirty water containers. I want to have a clean water container, which is in the bag, and then I want to have the dirty container. Keeping those separate is kind of a big deal. All right, guys, so I hope you enjoyed the video. Those are the 5 potential additions to my bug out bag. I look forward to hearing your opinion down there in the comments. I try to put out a new video every single week, so make sure you hit that subscribe button and hit the good old bell notification so you get notified whenever a new video comes out. Like, you need another notification, but mine are way more important. So thanks a lot for the support, guys. Check out everything that I got going on down there in the pin post, and I will see you in the next video. Peace. Show your support for the channel by checking out the wide range of survival gear available at thesurvivaloutpost.com. We stock only top quality, rugged, tactical equipment and apparel designed to support any mission or situation life may throw your way. Any gear you've seen in this video is linked up down there in the pin post, and be sure to check out the suggested videos for more real-world survival content and training.